Hello everyone and welcome back to Age of Nagash, which is a channel dedicated to Age of Sigmar. I hope you're all very well, because in this video we are going to be talking all things about Broken Realms Teclis, and in particular my likes and dislikes of this book that's came out for Age of Sigmar very lately as the second book in the Broken Realm series. So like my likes and dislikes I did for my Morathi video, we'll be using the same concept here. So this video is going to be quite a short video, and it's going to be very brief and sort of summarised what my likes and dislikes are, and to the point where it's just going to be in a bullet point format. And we'll mainly be looking at the rules for this video, because for the lore and narrative, I'd strongly recommend you guys head yourself over to 2+ Tough's channel. So Doug over there has done a series on the Broken Realm Teclis. Now I haven't watched it yet, but I have watched this Broken Realms Morathi series, and honestly, I can't suggest a better place for you guys to go and watch the lore for the Broken Realms books other than 2+ Tough. So I think he's got all the lore covered and stuff, so I want to give you my thoughts on the rules. But we will look at the lore just a little bit, just to give you my overall thoughts of the book. But before we get fully into that, I do want to do a massive shout out to my patrons and YouTube members, who, because of these people, I can continue to make Warhammer videos to help you and other people get into Age of Sigmar and continue their Age of Sigmar journey here on YouTube. So my top supporters are going to be my Morgasts, and they're all lovely people. So this is going to be Johnathan H, Filq, Bleed Red, and Christopher G. Thank you so much for supporting that tier, guys. And then we've got my vampires, which are Mir, Martin S, Rouse321, David A, Ronni H, Doug P, SpareBear, Christopher H, and Northdrop. Again, thank you so much for supporting the vampires. And then my Necromancers, which are Jacq.l, RadiationRiley, AW77, Sagas, WolfNick, Michal W, Quad, Cranky Wombat, Christopher F, Christopher C, James S, Steve T, Robin S, and James T. Thank you all so much for allowing me to keep this channel going. And if anyone else would like to support in that way, you'll find a join button next to the subscribe button. And there's a link to my Patreon on the top of the description down below. But we can get in all of that later on at the end of the video. So the first thing I want to start with, like I said, the lore. And this is basically just going to be a brief sort of summary of what I think. Again, I put a few bullet points in my thoughts, basically what I'm just going to talk through for the narrative. So firstly, I want to start with the sheer audacity of Teclis, the nerd. So if you're wondering as well why I am annoyed of Teclis, go read the book. I don't want to go into it. I don't want to spoil anything, but made me angry. And then what I'd like to say though about this book is it's got a very interesting narrative and story that continues to push Age of Sigmar forward. Really, it's quite as simple as that. Like, again, I don't want to go into details, so I don't want to ruin anything, but I was very happy when I went through the Morathi Broken Realms book, so that led me with quite high expectations of what I thought the next one would be good, and I was happy with this book. And then we've got a nice campaign to replay the narrative, featuring different armies split into two teams, so like the same again as Broken Realm Morathi, following the same format. So you've got like the narrative of what was said in the book, in the story, and then you can replay that on the table, which I really like. And I might probably do that in real life, to be honest, when things open up, because I think I am definitely going to head quite a bit towards narrative gaming when I can, as I do like, you know, match play and everything else, that's really good. But I really do want to feature like the story more in my game, be able to use models that I don't often use, which also ties into the fact that the narrative is, for the most part, is nicely reflected in the rules, which is nice. I saw that for the Morathi book, and we can see it here. And then finally, it makes me still excited for the future of the Broken Realm book. So when we got to the end of the Morathi book and we didn't really know what was coming next, we could kind of guess and speculate from the story there. However, now with Teclis being out and Games Workshop showing us an unusual amount of what's to come in the future, we know that Better Core is the next book. Then after that is Krakus, something like that it was called, and I think that might be the last one. I can't remember if they confirmed that's the last one. They might have done, I might have not. But we know what the next two books are anyway, so we can kind of like speculate around that. And I'm a massive fan of Better Core and could be a big fan of the new guy. Not really too sure who he is yet, so there's lots of speculation around that as well. So like I said, just a quick brief summary of the narrative. I do lore on this channel, so I did just want to ignore it. Of course, I want to give you my thoughts, but I didn't want to spoil anything. And like I said, get yourself over to 2+ Tough, check out his series on the Teclis book, Now, I'll be doing that at some point later in the week or something like that, but I'm definitely sure it's going to be good because I really did enjoy his Marathi one, and it's particularly useful just in case, like the book's only been out for a few days, isn't it? So not all of us has had the chance to be able to read through it. So it can just make your life a bit easier when someone doesn't necessarily just read to you the story, but tells you the story and expands on it and tells you why it is interesting. And with that, now let's have a look at my likes and dislikes for the rules of this book. And we're going to look at this in the order it is in the book. So that means starting off with the Mannequin of Nurgle. So really, we've got two things I like here and one thing I don't really like. So we have 3 updated War Scrolls. Now this is the Bobby Bile Piper, however it's pronounced, and then basically the Scribe guy. Can't remember their names, sorry. What we've got is basically both those characters were kind of already buff pieces for your Nurgle demons in the army, and now they are even more buff pieces, or they just have more versatility of how they can buff. They can give off more abilities to help out depending on what you need for your Nurgle demons in general. And the thing I would say is interesting about them, though, is they've gone from, I believe, having a 4-up save to a 5-up save. So they're now more easy to kill, but they are more useful for your Man King of Nurgle army if it's a demon army, which is cool. And then lastly, the 3rd War Scroll to be updated for the Man King of Nurgle is going to be the Beast of Nurgle, and that's generally made the Beast of Nurgle better. From what I can see, they have lost their damage on the charge ability, and that's something you'll see in these 3 War Scroll updates. Now, I'm not going to go through them like I already mentioned. You can check it out on the app if you would like to. But what we can see is that they haven't just flat got better. They have overall got better, but they have got some negatives as well. Like I said, those heroes now 5-up save, that sort of thing. This Beast of Nurgle, overall definitely getting better, but missing out on an ability, gaining abilities. So it is a bit of a shake-up rather than just improve all the stats, if you see what I mean. But it's still a good overall turnout for Man King of Nurgle. Then your new War Scroll Battalion is a one that's based obviously in the story, in the narrative of Broken Realms book Teclis, as we used to in these Broken Realm battalions and everything else. And what you have in it is a Slotty Bile Piper, and then 1 Spoilpox Scribe or something. I'm trying to remember the name now. Spoilpox, something like that. Anyway, and then you have 2 units of Plague Bearers. And what the battalion does is basically the first time a Plague Bearer unit from the battalion is destroyed, you can set up a new unit of 10 models of Plague Bearers, basically in range in your territory, in range of the border, 9 inches away from the enemy, that sort of jazz, which is nice, nothing really game breaking. Which is a shame, really, because the only other ability you get from this is Nurgle demons from the battalion, so basically just the Plague Bearers and your 2 heroes. If they're in range of other units in the battalions, you'll get +1 to your bravery, which isn't, can't really remember completely what that rule was, and it doesn't really matter because it's not that great because your Plague Bearers are pretty high bravery as it is, so that +1, you're not really aiming for it. I mean, it's nice, but it's nothing special. And this battalion's costing you 120 points, which is a shame, because I think the battalion, I don't think it's awful. It's nice being able to summon a unit and everything else, but I don't think it's worth the 120 points. People may say differently, because someone might go, oh, but with 120 points that battalion, it means it unlocks this extra artifact I can take from Man King of Nurgle, which is really good, and then I can use the extra command point for this. Fair enough, if you're saying that at this moment in time, you know more about Man King of Nurgle than I do, but I'm just spelling out what I think. Some battalions in Age of Sigmar are either great or not worth their points. And it's not like some oh, maybe they are. It's a very thin line of the ones that stay on that line, which could be worth, could not be worth. Most of them are just shit, or they're fucking fantastic. And unfortunately, the one for Man King of Nurgle is not in the fantastic range. And then the last thing I bought for a negative, though, is it only helps Nurgle demons. So if you have got a very big on the mortals or the Nurgle stuff, yeah, it's not for you. This is, don't worry, you'll get an update at some point in the future from GW. Maybe you'll get a new book, hopefully. No, I can definitely say Man King of Nurgle book coming out at some point. I don't want to say soon because I haven't teased anything, but that is the oldest book And then after that, Legion of Nagash is the oldest one. And we know Legion of Nagash is getting an update. So we can hope that Making No will get an update at some point soon. But to be honest, I'm not really too bothered because it means the longer they leave it, the longer my huge in-depth Noble series, well, a lot of you aren't aware that I've actually done, is still valid. So yeah, GW can take their time on that one for my sake. And with the Mega Kingdom we're done, we're going to move on to the cities of Sigmar. So this is going to be more generic because they got a lot more things. I'm going to go into loads of detail. But they got a new sub-legion, so this is the setlist game, which is nice because it's a way for you to include Luminesce Realm Lord models in your Cities of Sigmar army. Essentially, like, you know, we've got Broken Realms Marathi, can't remember the names of the cities, but there's one city that allows you to now take 1 in 4 units could be Daughters of Cain, and then obviously like Living City, 1 in 4 units could be Sylvaneth, etc. And now you've got one that means you can take Luminesce Realm Lords, and Luminesce Realm Lords, which we'll get to in a moment, have had a huge update, a huge release as part of Broken Realm Teclis, and obviously their new battle tomes came out and all the models. So really, it's just opened a box of a whole new possibilities for you to add into your Cities of Sigmar army in case it wasn't hard enough to be able to choose what models you want in the army because you have so much choice. So no, it is nice there. And you also get a new War Scroll Battalion, which is a nice thing as well. Of course, being a new sub-allegiance, it's going to have things like a new spell lore, new artifacts, new command traits, everything else. And I actually played against it yesterday. And yeah, it was good. Found out what Sentinels did. Don't like them. But the army played pretty well. And the battalion is actually alright. Like, it's not great, but it's alright. Like, the next two we're going to have a look at, which, to be honest, we're going to move on to now. Because with Cities of Sigmar, nice stuff. Nothing really bad that I found. So yeah, a win-win. Nice stuff for Cities of Sigmar. I am happy for them, as they've had quite a few good things in these Broken Realms books so far. They've had a lot of new stuff given to them, apart from pretty much new models. So, you know, they deserve it. And then going on to something that I'm not very happy about, and that is the update to, they've just put it quite frankly to death in the Broken Realms book. You look at the chapters and stuff. And what we've got, so look at the positives, right? Because obviously this is my special area, shall we say. We have a new Flesh Eater Court War Scroll Battalion. Awesome stuff. And then we have a new Ostrich Bone Reaper War Scroll Battalion. Fantastic. Loving this. I've really kind of not yet found like an army that I can just go like a 1-drop or a like 2-drop or something by taking like 1 or 2 battalions and just really build an army around a battalion. I've never really came across that much, apart from maybe Dead Watch for Flesh Eater Courts. And the problem is, I'm going to be waiting a bit longer because the new Flesh Eater Court Battalion is bad. The best thing about it, it only costs 100 points. So maybe I'll try it out at some point and I might change my mind. And if anyone else thinks differently about the Flesh Eater Courts and you think that the new battalion for them is really good and you want to tell me why down below, as I want to be wrong on this one. And the Flesh Eater Court War Scroll Battalion, it's only for Hollowmourne. Again, it is to fit like narrative and stuff in the story, so I get it. But what it does is it means units in your Flesh Eater Court Battalion that are in range of your Arch Regent from the battalion don't have to take battleshot tests. Not really too much of a problem for your Flesh Eater Courts. And if it is, I mean, you're a CP thirsty army anyway, so you're probably not going to have a lot of spare CP. However, what I will say is that if you really thought that you were going to need CP, you would probably leave one left over for Inspiring Presence. So I'm not really too bothered about that ability. It's nice, but it's not worth 100 points. And then the other thing as well is it allows you to use the command ability, the Ravenous Crusaders, which is the Hollowmourne command ability, 3 once per battle. Which is, again, alright, but it's just not very great. I mean, that's it. That's all I really have to say for it. I mean, the problem is it's only an Arch Regent, a unit of horrors, and a unit of ghouls in this battalion as well. So it's not really like your whole army. So you can't like help yourself out too much with the drops. You're going to want an Arch Regent in your army probably anyway, so it helps you out there. But you might not have wanted to take ghouls and horrors dependent. You probably would take ghouls, but again, that's not a good enough reason to take this battalion, in my honest opinion, and I have a lot of experience with Flesh Eater Courts. But the nice thing about the Flesh Eater Court Battalion is it looks actually really good when you compare it to the terrible Ossar Arch Bone Reaper War Scroll Battalion, which is the one which is very similar to the Cavalos Death Lance, which is the one within the Ostrich Bone Reaper book already that includes the same units required, so it doesn't make anything more interesting there, but that's okay. So when I saw this box coming out, I was like, oh, this could be better than the Kavalos Death Lance, because that's alright, but I don't really take it. So maybe something better would be definitely good. And they brought something out, and it was worse. So what you get to do is you have to take this as Static Lords, which is not really too much of a problem, because Static Lords is the one that's all about your horses, because it makes them as fast as they can. And your command ability in Static Lords allows you to retreat and then charge, which is great, right? And what this book allows you to do by giving you this War Scroll Battalion for Brain Reapers is when you do that command ability for a unit specifically that has a mount, so your Kavalos Death Riders generally. When you do this, you can roll a dice, and on a 4-up, you did not spend that Relentless Discipline point, which is basically the Oshrosh Bone Reaper command point, if you're not aware. On a 4-up, you don't spend it. And I can tell you, I tried this out yesterday because I knew I wanted to slag this off on the internet, but I thought I slagged off Yetis on the internet and then I got beaten by 21 of them. So let's maybe not do it too much until I actually play with it in game. So I thought I'd have a go at it. I went against the Cessa's game, like I mentioned, and I ended up winning the game. However, the fact that I took that battalion weighed me down massively. I thought I'm really going to lean into it. I took one unit of 15 Kavalos Death Riders, and with those Kavalos Death Riders, gave them the Lance, because I thought on the Lance, when they charge, it goes from their 6s, from their Nagarite weapons that generate extra hits, it goes from 6s to being 5s. That's what the Lance gives you, and it gives you the extra 2-inch range. So unit of 15, suit them out with Lances, best situation. That's what I thought. Charged in 15 of these guys into 10 Phoenix Guard, and I know Phoenix Guard are pretty hard to kill, I get it, but 15 of my Kavalos Death Riders charging in, and they killed one Phoenix Guard. I mean, what the fuck? Like, seriously. And again, this doesn't really reflect the battalion, to be fair, because it's not using the Italian rules or the battalion abilities. And I did do the whole... well, after that thing, after attacking like 10 Phoenix Guard, I then, shortly after, was reduced my unit of 15 down to a unit of 5. So then I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and retreat and charge just to prove to see if this battalion is any good. And I retreated, and then I rolled my dice on a 4-up to see if I spent that Relentless Discipline point. And to be fair, I didn't spend it, because I rolled the 4-up. When I say didn't spend it, I mean you roll a 4-up and you gain a new Relentless Discipline point, to be more specific. So I did that, got a new point, so, you know, it showed the best of this battalion. But why am I so annoyed about this battalion? If I won my game yesterday with it, and the fact that why my units did bad in that situation didn't really involve the battalion, and the benefit the battalion gives me actually went off. Why would I complain? Because the fact I took this battalion had to force me to build my list in a certain way I would never do to try and maximise the most out of this battalion. And the other thing what I don't like about it is it's 120 points, so it's the same points as the Kavalos Death Lance, and the Kavalos Death Lance is 100% better. And because, like I've mentioned with the Kavalos Death Lance, it's alright, but it's not that good, so I don't really take it. This has made me want to take it, so I'm like, well, it's got to be better than this. So the annoying thing about this battalion, as a summary basically, is saying that this battalion that came out in the Broken Realm books for Oshrosh Bone Reapers doesn't add anything new to the army in terms of how likely you are going to be to take it. It doesn't give you anything new in unit composition when it comes to battalion-wise, and it's not cheaper. So it's not even like I want to have 2 units of Death Riders, I want to have a Liege Cavios because they're the requirements for the battalion, and it's not even like I want to have them in here. How am I going to lower my drops? Oh, that's only 100 points, that battalion. I might take that one because then it makes my drops easier than going for the Kavalos Death Lance. No, they're the same points. There's no reason why you wouldn't take the Kavalos Death Lance. In my honest opinion, Kavalos Death Lance can go in any of those sub-allegiances as well. And you're just not tied down. And don't get me wrong, I didn't have like my hopes like really high for these War Scroll battalions, but I know some of them can be pretty good from the Broken Realms book. No, majority of them probably can't be, but after looking at the latest one, but I know some of them can be good. And I don't know, I got my hopes up a little bit high, and I've done a fair bit lately with GW, which I shouldn't have been doing. It's my fault. Like when I did through the Curse City War Scrolls and all those sort of things for Age of Sigmar. I think I was mainly tired in that video, to be honest. I really went to town on how much I disliked some of those War Scrolls. And then here, I kind of feel like I'm doing the same, but that's just because they keep going on about how the rules that come out of these things are going to be really good, and it's just complete lie. And it's a shame, because I've really gotten into Morgasts Bone Reapers lately. I'm trying to test them out really best I can. I've clocked probably close to 15 games or something with Petrified Elite alone, and I've now clocked a game with Static Lords, and I want to keep that up. So I've got probably like 2 or 3 games of Static Lords, and then I want to really focus on Static Lords, and then after that go on to more Satorians. So then I can basically just get a huge experience with Morgasts Bone Reapers, and I thought maybe this was just something else I could try out. Tried it out, and it was just shit, basically, was the answer. And it makes the Flesh Eater Court one look good. Again, if someone wants to say that the Ostrich Bone Reaper War Scroll Battalion is really good, I mean, you can put something down below, but I'm not going to agree with you at all. But if you want to say that I'm wrong about the Flesh Eater Court War Scroll Battalion, I'm more than happy to hear that, because Flesh Eater Courts, like I said, I've got loads of experience with them, but it's probably experience from like a few months back, so in case it's like been any like hidden tech unveiled in that battalion, but I can't see it personally, and I think I am right about that. But if you guys got a different opinion, let me know that down below. So that's why I'm disappointed, because obviously Death is my favourite stuff, and it was just a letdown again. Similarly, in the last Broken Realms book, my biggest hope was for the Slaves to Darkness. As you know, I'm a big fan of Slaves to Darkness. You've seen all my purple and white Sinesh on the channel. And again, Idolaters. I know like they got an update now, which means like Plague Touch Battalion is good in it, but I think Plague Touch Battalion is really boring. Everyone does it, and the Idolaters just a massive letdown again. So I just feel like for my personal armies, I've been let down twice with Broken Realm books, which, you know, maybe I've got too high expectations. Maybe I just look at the other armies that get updated in these Broken Realm books and are jealous because I don't know why they get good stuff and I don't. But that's just me being human. So then going on to the last bit, which are the poster boys of this Broken Realms book, because of course it is the Luminesce Realm Lord. So obviously this book has came out at the same time as a new release for the Luminesce Realm Lords, which is cool. I mean, cool, kind of feels like they could have told everyone that they were going to do the Luminesce Realm Lords in 2 releases rather than just doing a huge money grab. But the Luminesce Realm Lords, so simply, they just got faster, better, stronger. Really, they just got so many new options. Like, they've got 12 new War Scrolls. And when I mean 12 new War Scrolls, I mean like 12 new models. And I'll be honest, so in my Broken Realms book, I counted a few how many War Scrolls they got, and it's actually like 14, but 2 of them are the Warband from Diachasm in Warhammer Underworld, so I haven't really counted them because we already knew about them, and they're already being played. So there's 12 new War Scrolls for them, which is huge. I don't even know if that's more than their first release. It may be, or about the same. And there's 4 new War Scroll battalions. And all I'm going to say is this has obviously unlocked new ways for the Luminesce Realm Lords to play. It's added so much to the army. And I feel for Luminesce Realm Lord players because, like I said, I think they were tricked pretty bad by GW on this one. But the problem I have with the Luminesce Realm Lords is, don't get me wrong, this isn't a problem in terms of I don't think they're good. Their rules are great, trust me. If you want to see a more in-depth review on the new Luminesce Realm Lord stuff, go check out the Honest Wargamer, and he's very, very into the meta, and he knows exactly why it's already good. And the problem that I have is, as I've written on the screen, I believe that this makes the Luminesce one of the strongest armies in the game. And they already were a very strong army. However, this just makes me feel like it's an other army that's been like added to the list of broken armies of the game, personally. And again, there may be a backlash here because people may go, they're not one of the most powerful armies in the game. What are you talking about? I mean, probably a Luminesce player if you're telling me that. But they just have so many options to them, and some of the units are just so cheap compared to other armies. And it just makes me feel like it's one of those other armies out there, like the top 5 armies, that just play their own game. And if I bring something like Nighthorn, or I know that's like one of the lower armies, but like Slaves to Darkness or Ogre Moor Tribes, maybe something like that, I'm just really going to struggle to deal with the Luminesce Realm Lords. You know, what I'm trying to say is those like mid-tier armies, like the fat middle, Armies in the fat middle, I think, are the best. You've heard me say this already. The armies that are always top tier, always generally am against them. And it's not even just like I just like fed up and lose against them. It's not even that. It's just a case of like it's just a waste of time playing against them. Because again, there are better players out there than me, and they might go, well, obviously if you're a better player, you might be able to beat them and stop moaning about it. Which, you know, I accept. But some of them, no, you don't stand a chance. Quite a fair bit of the time, I just feel like Luminesce Realm Lords has been added to that. So in summary, for my negative for Luminesce Realm Lords, it's only a personal thing, so technically there's no negatives here. They just got simply, like I said, faster, better, stronger, and riding kangaroos and everything else. But I just feel like some of the stuff is bonkers, and it annoys me, as it is another army that I feel like with my armies I can't really stand much of a chance against. And I wouldn't mind if all the battle tomes were put on that level going forward, but as we've seen with the Slaanesh one, they're not. So it's unfortunate. But you may disagree with me on this one, and that's absolutely fine as well. And with that, guys, I am going to end the video here. Like I said, it was just going to be a quick one. I know it's gone for about 25 minutes now, but you know, for me, that's a fairly quick video. So it's just likes and dislikes. I didn't want to do like a full, massive like book review, you know, man who reads book. Very good channel, but like anything like that. And I just wanted to give you my sort of thoughts and likes and dislikes. I think that's a nice, quick, and not really too full-on review as some of the other channels have done, because as I do like to cover new releases here, and certainly feels like lately this channel's became like half all about news just because of how much news is being chucked at us, which is obviously cool. But I'd rather keep all my long in-depth videos and stuff for things like my long in-depth series, like, you know, Ostrich Bone Reapers at the moment, or Slaves of Darkness before that, or Beasts of Chaos, all those sort of like long in-depth reviews. I'd rather save that kind of deep detail review for those sorts of videos. And with that, guys, I'm going to thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on the Broken Realm Teclis book down below as well. And if you did enjoy this video, please smash that like button, the subscribe button, and the bell notification button. 3 little buttons to press: the like, the subscribe, and the bell notification. Really easy to do so. Best part, it's free, and even better, massively helps out the channel. And if you enjoyed this video and you think you know someone else who would, please go ahead and share this video and let them know about the channel. That would be fantastic. And if you would like to support the channel that step further, please press that join button next to the subscribe button. Absolutely smash the head out of it. It will take you to a place where you can become a member of Agent Nagash, where you can give something just like £1 a month, go straight towards keeping this channel going. Or there's a link to my Patreon on the top of the description down below that takes you to my Patreon, where you can give anything from $1 a month. And that is really, really simple and small, but it goes straight towards keeping this channel going. As it wasn't for my Patreon's YouTube members, so I'll read them out again in a moment, I wouldn't be doing Agent Nagash, and you wouldn't be watching this video. So my Patrons and my YouTube members, which again, my biggest supporters being my Morgasts. This is going to be Johnathan H, Filq, Bleed Red, and Christopher G. Thank you so much for your continued support. It's really going a huge way, especially at that tier. It's a huge sign of support for the channel, and I really can't thank you enough. So thank you so much for continuing to do that. Then my vampires, who give a good amount of support as well. It's going to be Mir, Martin S, Rouse321, David A, Ronni H, Doug P, SpareBear, Christopher H, and Northdrop. Thank you so much for supporting on that tier. Like I said, it's very nice and very kind of you. And then my Necromancers, which is Jacq.l, RadiationRiley, AW77, Sagas, WolfNick, Michal W, Quad, Cranky Wombat, Crystal F, Crystal C, James S, Steve T, Robin S, and James T. Thank you so much for your continued support there. It's really going a huge way to keep the channel going. So like I say, guys, if you could support that way, it would mean the world to me. But if you can't, no worries. Just like, subscribe, and smash that bell notification. Share the video with someone if you'd like to. And put a question down below, or just your thoughts on Broken Realm Teclis in the comments as well. But above anything else, guys, I'm just glad that you came here and checked this video today. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And remember, until next time, to stay safe, stay hygienic, wear a mask, and wash your hands, for God's sake. So that means that when we can start all gaming again soon, we can start using the rules in Broken Realm Teclis. And then beyond anything else, remember, until next time, more importantly, that Nagash is all, and all is one in Nagash.